Trump is engaging in mass firings of his military leaders on Thursday. First, we heard about the termination by Pete Hegseth of the Army Chief of Staff General Randy George, who was forced into retirement. He was fired. He was the 41st Chief of Staff of the United States Army, fired during Donald Trump's catastrophic war in Iran. We're also hearing in a report from the Washington Post that in addition to Randy George, General David Honey, a former Army Ranger who leads the Services Transformation and Training Command, fired. Also Major General William Green Jr., head of the Army's Chaplain Corps. Honey's command was created under George's watch, while Hegseth sought recently to overhaul how military chaplains operate.
Pam Bondi is out. That's the breaking news, but you guys are getting it all wrong. You're making this like, oh, good, she wasn't effective enough. He should get someone better. No. Pam Bondi's out because she wasn't corrupt enough, because she wouldn't do exactly what Trump said. She's not even out for the Epstein files. You don't think she was directed not to follow the law? You don't think she was directed to slow walk it and reduce what was being put out? Really? Pam Bondi's not out because of her. And to the extent it is because of her, it's because of the modicum of discretion and principle, the modicum, the little itty bit that she exercised. What Trump wanted was the same thing he wanted with Jeff Sessions. Go after my enemies, do what I say. And you guys see Pam Bondi being out as like some sign that the administration is trying to get better? It's trying to get worse. He just put his personal lawyer in control of the DOJ. Yeah, Nixon put a former law partner in. Saw how that worked out. Yeah, John Kennedy put in his brother Bobby. Probably a bad call. But this is the worst. Bondi is out because she wasn't corrupt enough. Because that's what this is about. It is about Trump using the Department of Justice to do exactly what he promised you he would stop. He wants lawfare 24/7 as payback. And if you're okay with it, just understand why. You're okay with it because you like using power for vengeance. You like it. You don't want something better than it. You're full of it. You want lawfare. You want vengeance. You want to use power to attack your enemies. That's what he wanted Pam Bondi to do. That's what she didn't do enough of. She was just following orders by slow walking Epstein. And you know it. That's why he's given her on the way out. Because he knows she knows all the corruption. Bondi being out isn't a sign of better. It's a sign of worse to come. That's what a free agent knows, because a free agent is a critical thinker, not... It's what the side is telling me. Gotta pay fealty. Yum, 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 yum. Eat it up. But it's not the truth.
We just got some really concerning news regarding the war in Iran. Pete Hegseth has just requested that the Army Chief of Staff, Randy George, resign immediately and go into early retirement. Why, you may ask? We have no official reason, but the Trump administration has just begun bombing civilian infrastructure in Iran. Did he refuse illegal orders?
Happy Thursday. Pam Bondi just got fired. Rumors started circulating last night that Trump had expressed that he was planning to fire her, and then today he did. What do you think the odds are that dementia has just eaten away so much that that guy still thinks he's running The Apprentice? And he's like, "You're there." I think it's more than that. There's people who are like, oh, it's because she didn't handle the Epstein files and didn't release them. Yeah, I don't think he's upset about those not being released. I think it's better odds that her meltdown in front of Congress, which was not well received by MAGA as a whole, who were calling for her resignation. I think he's upset at her handling of the Epstein files by basically not making it go away. But the rumor inside is that it's really about the fact that she hasn't prosecuted his political adversaries fast enough. That's what he's mad about. So at first he tried to make Matt Gaetz Attorney General. That didn't go so well. Then it was her. Now it's going to be interim, acting Todd Blanche, her deputy, who's also a shitbag. But he's looking for someone else. Who do you think it's going to be? When Trump wanders out into a random yard and just starts searching for new dog turds, which dog turd do you think he's going to pick to be the new Attorney General?
Hello brothers and sisters, welcome back to the channel. I'm hoping that you are doing great from wherever you're watching this video from. And as you know, I'm your host and presenter Genetic Stories. Just yesterday, few hours ago, something happened in the office of Mr. Donald Trump. And this has led many people asking a lot of questions because firing military generals amid all the chaos that is going on right now, I don't think it's a right decision. Or maybe there is something that Trump is trying to do, beneath the table that everyone is not seeing while the light is not illuminating. The truth just remains the truth. Trump is firing military generals. But the problem is, why should he make such a decision, especially when the United States is at its crucial points? There's so many ultimatums that the United States is being given right now. And I think this is being pushed by some decisions that Trump is making. And Trump is removing any person that comes across him. Trump don't want to listen to any advice from any general or anything. Trump just want to fire them. So, since Trump wants to go its own way, Trump is trying to fire these folks. Trump wants to put loyalists, people who will agree with the decisions that he is making. People are not agreeing with the decisions that Trump is making, this including the people that surrounds Mr. Donald Trump. And that's why you are seeing all these massive firings that are going on right now. Because just yesterday, that's April 2nd, 2026, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, First Army Chief of Staff General, that's Randy George, to retire immediately. Hegseth also fired 2 other senior army generals the same day. David Odden, that's the head of Army Transformation and Training Command, and Maj General William Green Jr., Army Chief of Chaplains. So this makes you question a lot of things, because this is not an isolated move. Because since Hegseth took office in early 2025, the Trump administration has fired or forced out more than a dozen top generals and admirals, including previous chiefs of naval operation, Air Force chief, and others. There was also earlier the directive to cut 20% of 4-star general admiral positions across the active duty military for efficiency. So that's a crazy move. We all know that this is a crazy move, right? Because when we are trying to look at what is happening right now, we are just saying, amid the chaos that the United States is presenting itself, or what the United States is getting through, we are getting to understand, we are getting to see that generally this is problematic to the United States. Brothers and sisters, I want us to watch the following videos, because Americans spoke about this, and I think it's just imperative that we all get to listen to their opinion in regards to this. You might ask yourself this question: why are they doing this right now, especially during the Iran war, amidst all this chaos that is going on? Brothers and sisters, stay tuned as you watch this video. And as you know, I'm your host and presenter Genetic Stories. And for those who are watching me for the first time, I'm asking you to please subscribe to the channel, join the membership, and really get to see what I can offer you. But until then, let's watch the video. I'll be back with my 2 cents and presentations in regards to this. So let's watch the video. I'll be back.
Pete Hegseth is firing the Army Chief of Staff, Randy George. Think about that. This is the top guy in the U.S. Army. We're in the middle of a war. It is about to be ground troops. Elements of the U.S. Army, like the 82nd Airborne, possibly Delta Force, are currently in the Middle East. And now you're going to fire the guy? This is absolute desperation, being out of control, and he's probably getting pushed back for the effectiveness of the mission and what kind of possible war crimes are being committed. Really bad. Bad timing, bad sign.
Pete Hegseth today has essentially fired the Army Chief of Staff General Randy George and asked him to retire early. So he's essentially fired. It's effective immediately, confirmed by the spokesman for the Pentagon, Sean Parnell. So why did Hegseth do this? Well, they haven't said, and Randy George has not been able to be reached for comment. So we have no idea right now. It's up for speculation. But some think it's because we started bombing bridges, civilian infrastructure in Iran. Others think it has to do with an upcoming ground operation potentially in Iran. Other people think that maybe General George refused illegal orders. Or it could just be simply what Pete Hegseth did today, where he's allowing firearms on our bases. Hegseth just ended a decades-old Pentagon policy of off-duty officers not having weapons on bases. This is because they were treated as highly secure, controlled areas rather than public spaces. And Hegseth even invoked God, blurring the lines further between the separation of church and state, saying that it's the God-given right of soldiers to have their weapons on our bases. So our military is now having to trust a former drunken Fox News host over what's best for their safety. Who knows if we'll actually learn why Hegseth forced the retirement of the Army's Chief of Staff, but whatever the reason is, it doesn't sound like it would be good. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like, share, spread the word, follow, subscribe, and I'll see you back here for the 411.
You already know what's coming. Trump just fired the highest ranking officer in the U.S. military. Here's what that means for America's future. President Trump just removed 4-star General Charles Q. Brown Jr. as chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. In his place, he's nominating retired 3-star Lieutenant General Dan Raisin Kane, pending Senate approval. I wonder why they nicknamed him Raisin Kane. But that's not all. This is part of a massive Pentagon shakeup with top military officials getting the boot. They also just fired the Chief of Naval Operations, Lisa Franchetti, who has made history as the first woman to lead the Navy in 2023. Now, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said that this is about refocusing the military on warfighting instead of focusing on diversity and inclusion initiatives. Translation: the administration just wants to eliminate DEI policies from the armed forces. Critics, on the other hand, say that this is a dangerous politicization of the military that undermines professionalism. Look, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. We know that this is not just about leadership changes. We know that the administration is planning on doing defense budget cuts and slashing 5,400 civilian jobs in the U.S. Pentagon. So the question remains, is this really about making the military stronger or more political?
You know, one thing that my older brother always taught me was that if a job hires you on the spot, like you're not even qualified, they just hire you on the spot, it ain't gonna be a good job. Nothing about that job gonna be good. Terrible work hours, terrible work conditions, something gonna be off. That job is not gonna be good. Now, the only job I ever had in my entire lifetime was working for a delivery company warehouse. Let's just call it that. All right? I had to wake up early in the morning, put some boxes in the truck, stack it up right, either load the boat truck, move some cans around, stuff like that. 3 a.m. in the morning to 7 a.m. in the morning. High turnover rates. Nobody was there long, but the company knew that. So they always had hiring events. They always had interviews trying to get new people in because they understood people would leave as soon as they got there. But you were going to do the job that they wanted you to do, or they would find somebody else who will. Now, I was only there for maybe 3 to 4 years, but as I was there, I recognized by the time I left, I didn't know anybody else there. I couldn't even remember the names of the people who were there when I first got there. But don't worry. They don't want you to. Greg Bovino was the head of ICE at one point. Ran one of the most aggressive operations there was, led to the deaths of 2 American citizens that were protesting there. And now he's been removed. He's out of the spotlight, being quiet somewhere. Half of y'all don't even know he's been replaced. And all of the stuff that he did, you probably won't remember. But don't worry, they don't want you to. Christy No. Yeah, she was the head of DHS at one point. She spent $220 million of taxpayer money on a commercial we did not need, did not want, and apparently this administration did not approve. Christy, I want my money. Anyways, she's been removed, replaced, brought to another section of the government. Now she ducked off, quiet. She ain't got to be held accountable for where that money went. We found out the money went to 2 companies we had no idea about. One of them being made 8 days before the commercial was shot. And now her man is twerking his chest on camera. All I'm saying is half of y'all didn't even know she was replaced. And for the money stuff, you won't even remember. But don't worry, they don't want you to. And now it's Pamela Bondi. Yeah, Miss Transparency herself. She's been fired, been removed, been ousted. Yeah, she made an absolute mess of the Epstein files. No explanations, no accountability, just delays and contradictions. Now I know she's hot news right now. Y'all all know she's been fired, but give it some time. And y'all won't remember her either. That's okay. Because they don't want you to. But why don't they want you to remember these people? Seems like they're working their way up a totem pole or something. Started off with Greg Bovino, then it was Kristi Noem, and now it's Pamela Bondi. I wonder who's next. Maybe Pete Hegseth. In the meantime, I hope you have a wonderful day. You know I love you and I'll see you tomorrow. But if I don't, stay out of trouble.
People off guard, except that the policy seems to change for a variety of reasons. Maybe the stock market falls, or maybe the target country lavishes praise on Trump and gives him a gold bar. Trump's superpower is that he is flexible enough to turn on a dime and has a base that will accept anything he proposes. Once unalterably opposed to Middle East wars, many of his MAGA supporters now believe in this Middle East war with the zeal of converts. And while Trump has made clear that he would like to end the hostilities, the problem this time, unlike with tariffs, is that he cannot unilaterally stop what he started. Iran gets a vote, and it is currently voting to keep fighting, calculating that though weakened, it has enough military power to do damage to the world economy, thereby inflicting pain on the U.S. For the world, there is no longer any such thing as American credibility. Just a strange reality television show in which the main actor swerves, bobs, and weaves his way through crises, hoping that what he says today will solve the crisis caused by what he said yesterday. The day before he threatened to obliterate Iran's power plants, Trump claimed that the U.S. was considering winding down its military operations against Iran and implied that protecting the Strait of Hormuz was not his problem and could be dealt with by other nations whose imports passed through the strait. At another point, he said he didn't need any other country's help. Businessmen used to rail against previous administrations because of policy uncertainty, quote unquote. Now they line up to praise Trump as his carnival of chaos roils markets almost every week. Donald Trump has gotten used to playing with the United States' massive power, punishing those who don't bend the knee and rewarding those who do. In doing this, he's squandering credibility built up over decades to extract short-term goodies, sometimes to the benefit of his own family's business interests. But in Iran, he seems to have come up against an adversary that won't play by his rules.
But, you know, whenever I hear either of them say we're ahead of schedule, it begs the question, what is the schedule? Because that has not been laid out. And so that makes it hard to interpret that when they use that as a reply.
Which leads me to the general, who has indicated that as well in his questions, repeatedly saying we don't know exactly what the plans are. So lastly to you, and then quickly, General, with regard to the fluidity, the contradictory statements here, again, for military security reasons, does that make sense to not be specific laying out information?
Hello brothers and sisters, welcome back to the channel. I'm hoping that you are doing super great from wherever you're watching this video from. And as you know, I'm your host and presenter, Agent Stories. It's a brand new day. We thank God for the gift of life, for everything. As I left you while we were talking, that was just that one thing that we were talking about. That one reason as to why Trump is doing this right now, amidst all this chaos, amidst everything that is going on right now, because I think this is the time for Trump to lay low. Work together with the generals that he's having. Work together with the group of people that can help him make the right decision. But you see, Trump is doing the opposite. What he's doing in the middle of this US-Iran-Israel war, this is what he's doing. He's firing generals. So this tells you this is an impulsive person. So we don't expect any right decision coming from him. So back to my question. Why do you think Trump is doing this, especially at this time, right? So alignment with Trump exit priorities. They want people who are loyal to them. When I say loyal to them, I mean people that agrees with everything that they say, the decisions that they make. Remember, all these other generals, maybe you were not told, but they had a problem with Mr. Donald Trump because they kept on telling him that, bro, you are escalating something that you cannot stop. And so since Trump is the chief of the armed forces of the United States, yeah, he can fire them. And that's what he did because they never agreed with what Donald Trump was doing. So Exit has repeatedly said he wants leaders who will fully execute the president's national security approach. That's what he has said. And brothers and sisters, this gives us a lot of information that we need, right? So without hesitation, past firings and block promotions targeted officers seen as tied to the Biden era. Supportive of diversity, supportive of day programs, or not aggressive enough on issues like woke culture in the ranks. For example, Exit had already intervened to block promotions of 2 black and 2 female officers earlier in 2026. So that tells you a lot. That gives you the information that you need to have, right? The second reason is that they want to install loyalists. They want to install a group of people that will agree with everything that they say. Remember, these are a group of people that don't want to be challenged. They want to tell you something, and they want you to execute it right away when they just tell you. So they are installing loyalists. They're not trying to install people that will tell them, Trump, what you're doing will cause problems to America. And majority of time, we've seen all these firings going on because these people are not agreeing with what Mr. Donald Trump is trying to do. They're not agreeing with him. And so you are seeing them trying to remove the people that act as, quagmire to them and put loyalists, those people that are on the foot, are on their feet every time, asking for their decisions, even if it's wrong, right? So the pattern is to clear space for people who share the administration's worldview, strong emphasis on traditional military culture, Christian nationalist rhetoric in some cases, and rapid action. George Oster reportedly followed disagreements over promotions and implementing the administration's army vision. Another reason is broader overhaul. Exit and Trump have openly criticized previous military leadership. For example, General Mark Milley as disloyal or politicized. They argued the top rank had become bloated, politicizing in the wrong direction, and needed drastic pruning to restore focus and effectiveness. I don't think that's true, or I don't think that's right. Because I think you watched the interview that I've shared with you. You can definitely see Donald Trump saying that the people who are involved in Iraq military war that happened, they didn't make the right decision. So you're asking yourself, how didn't they make the right decision when right now you are making the right decision for American citizens? So that's just a question that people are asking. People call this risky for some reasons. You cannot fire top army generals amidst conflict. It is a wrong decision because now what's remaining, you are putting loyalists, you're not putting people that will challenge you. You don't want your decision to be delayed because you are an impulsive person. And that's what you're good at. And that's what you're going to do. Right? Firing the army top generals and other mid-conflict disrupts command chains, planning, and morale when steady leadership is needed for decision making for America. Yes, you don't need America to make decision. You want to impulsively make decision for America yourself. Another reasons why they're doing this amidst the craziness, amidst the chaos, is because it looks like a political purge rather than a merit-based reform, replacing experienced combat leaders with loyalist risks, politicizing the military further, and weakening their readiness. It's crazy, all. People are questioning this because even some within the Pentagon have questioned whether race or gender played a role in earlier blogs and the speed of these moves, because there is no public detailed explanation, which fuels concerns about the chaos. So, this leaves us with a lot of questions in regards to this, right? People need answers. Why is Trump doing this amidst the chaos, amidst everything that is going on right now? So I just want you to let me know what you feel and think about this. And brothers and sisters, as you know, I'm your host and presenter, Agent Stories. And until then, I'm hoping to see you on my next video. And just a meek reminder, for those who are always watching me, for those who are always watching my videos and supporting, subscribing, liking, commenting, I'm really, really grateful for all the support that you all giving me. And thank you, guys. Let me see you in my next video. But until then, peace, love, and harmony. Salute.